He's not going to report via mail. He'll come to the Clayton. He committed the crime in Clayton County. He's going to come to Clayton County.
Okay, Your Honor.
He can take the bus or the train, or the bus and the train.
Welcome to What Had Happened Was.
Where we take a peek into actual court cases and give you commentary based on our unique perspective and experiences, and also give you informational tips and tricks to help you avoid a what had happened situation.
Before we get started, give us a thumbs up, a tasteful comment. Subscribe to the channel to be notified of every video as they come out.
All right, so we have all that. I'm sending the order over. All right, who's next?
Your Honor, I have Mr. Clayton.
Mr. Clayton, raise your right hand for me. You solemnly swear or affirm any testimony you give in this matter will be true.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, 1 second. Mr. Clayton, you're before the court on 2024 CR 00962 Xavier Cordell Clayton for the offense of sexual battery. You're represented by Ms. Chelsea Hahn, who's with you at the podium. Ms. Hahn, what does your client plead to the offenses before the court?
Your Honor, he'd like to enter a plea of guilty under Alford.
Okay.
So in criminal law, the Alford plea is a type of guilty plea in which the defendant does not admit to committing the crime, but agrees that the prosecution has enough evidence to obtain a conviction. So he is not saying he's guilty, but he's saying that I know y'all got enough to convict me with.
May I have the, I'm sorry, by entering a plea of guilty under Alford versus North Carolina, Mr. Clayton, you give up the right to have a trial by jury or judge. You give up the right to have the state prove your guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. You give up the right to have the presumption of innocence in your favor. You give up the right to confront witnesses, subpoena witnesses, present testimony and evidence on your behalf, to not incriminate yourself or present any testimony or evidence against yourself. And if you're not a United States citizen, a plea of guilty or no contest could negatively impact your immigration status. Do you understand all of these things, Mr. Clayton?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, factual basis recommendation, please.
Yes, Your Honor. On May 8th, 2022, in Clayton County, Georgia, officers responded to a Dollar Tree located in Clayton County in reference to a molesting. Upon arriving to the location, the officers made contact with the victim, Ms. Shamika Render, who stated that she was in the Dollar Tree trying to buy a balloon for Mother's Day. And she asked Mr. Clayton to help her with the balloon.
So I don't hear her saying that the guy worked there. She just asked him to come on. I guess she just asked, "Oh, could you help me?" or whatever. Or she thought he worked there, or I don't know, because that seemed a little confusing. It's not taking anything away from her. It's just I'm just curious as to why she asked him to come over there.
So she's just recapping the case because the judge asked her to recap the case, the factual basis for her accepting this plea that he's giving.
And at that time, he began to brush his genitals up against the right side of her bottom. The victim stated that at first she thought it might have been an accident because they were close to each other. And then it happened for a second time. She stated that she moved away from him and reported what happened to the manager. And then Mr. Clayton did it for a third time when she tried to step away from him.
So this happened 3 times. She did it once.
She moved away from him. She thought he made a mistake. She was like, okay,
Mhm.
maybe, he just came up too close on her. Now, a second time, she's like, wait a minute. So she moved away from him, and then he did it again.
But she did it again the third time after she reported it to the manager, and then he still did it again.
There was also another witness on the scene and who told the officers that Mr. Kaysen had did something like that similar to another customer. A warrant was later taken out for Mr. Kaysen's arrest.
So it still has me baffled. Is he an employee or not an employee? Because now they're saying he did this to another customer, and then later on, a warrant was taken out for his arrest. So I don't know whether he was an employee and did this, or is just a frequent person that was up in the shopper in the store and did this, or he's just hanging around loitering for doing this.
And the state's recommendation is 12 months to serve 60 days. A psychosexual evaluation, no contact with the victim, Ms. Shamika Render. That's Shameka. Last name Render, Render. And that is it. And I'm also Miss Render is online, and she would like to make a statement.
All right, Ms. Render. Where's Ms. Render? Ms. Render, I have to see you and hear you, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. I'm
All right.
sorry for the trouble there.
Okay, that's okay. Raise your right hand for me. You solemnly swear or affirm any testimony you give in this matter will be true.
Yes, I do, Your Honor.
All right, you can put your hand down. Tell me what you need me to know, ma'am.
As stated on Mother's Day, when I entered the Dollar Tree in order to pick out balloons for Mother's Day, prior to opening the door to the establishment, I just asked if they had balloons or if they had helium, because typically they're either out of one of the two. I never asked for his assistance.
So now we found out she did not ask for his help. So that's answered that one question. It doesn't answer whether he's an employee or not, but it does answer she did not want his help or ask for it in any way.
Not once did I ask. He actually took it upon himself to come over to assist me. So everything else prior to that is actually correct, that he attempted this 3 times with me, and I was not aware that he was doing it on purpose the first time. The second time, I just had a feeling maybe we're too close, or he is, and I just stepped at least 6 feet away from Mr. Kaysen. He had no reason to be in the area in which I was in, because you could not exit to go to the registers from that section where I was. So I totally stepped away from him, and he did it a 3rd time. And to our knowledge, he has done this at least 3 times at that same location. And I don't find this a coincidence. And it certainly bothered me for a very long time. And I'm not sure there are other victims or kids or anything like that. And I don't want this to be taken lightly. And that's all that I ask.
Ms. Render, the request was made for Mr. Kaysen to enter a NOLO plea, and I said no. And I can hear in your voice the emotion that you still have. You can't even catch your breath.
No, ma'am.
Because this is still bothering you. So
Yes, ma'am.
please understand that the court takes this very seriously. Some people are like, oh, well, all he did was brush up against you. No, any invasion of your personal space that is not warranted or asked for, that is criminal, and it should be deemed as such. So yes, ma'am, I take this seriously.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you. All right. Recommendation.
Oh man, you can't even get a balloon without some jerk walking up to you and being nasty. You can't even get a balloon. That's horrible. She's sitting there and just wants to get a balloon for Mother's Day, because that's what she was doing. Goes in and says, hey, you got helium? You got balloons? Yes, they do. Pays for her stuff. Just tries to get something going. And now they got this guy. Now she's got to be a victim of of assault, basically, where this guy presses up against her. And the only reason why she's following through is because, you know what? It's good for her to follow through, because I'm quite sure somebody might be like, you know, I just get no. This is why we have to sit there and speak up and do all these things, because we got people that they said he did it before. So he's been doing this all around. So who knows where else? And now magically, when it's time for him to report, he doesn't live there. Come on now.
Yes, Your Honor, I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. So I got the recommendation. This is the question I have. So the psychosexual eval, do we have, he's doing it through probation. Like when will I know that he's completed it? I need some timeline for when he's going to get that done. I need at least within the first 2 to 3 months of him being released.
Okay. The state would defer to the court, but we can say within the first 90 days of him being released.
Yeah.
That's fine, Your Honor.
And any treatment that they may order. All right, so Mr. Kaysen, I can't stress enough that nobody wants to be touched unless they invite that touching.
And if she wouldn't have said anything about it, he would have got away with it again. He would have just got away with it again. He would have did it again to somebody else until either somebody sat there and maybe they told their husband and their husband went in there. Now that would have been a whole different thing, because maybe somebody would have came in there and told their husband or their boyfriend, then their boyfriend would have came and physically dealt with him, and the boyfriend would be sitting in jail and he would be the victim.
And if the person moves away from you and they indicate that they clearly don't want to have that interaction, it's a horrible, horrible invasion of their privacy and of their feeling of safety for you to continue to pursue that and then to force that touch upon them. It's horrible. And so I'm going to accept your plea. You say under Alford, doesn't really bother me, but your plea of guilty, I'll sentence you to 12 months to serve 6 days. The balance will be probated for you to take a psychosexual evaluation and any treatment that they may order. You're to do that within, not 90 days, within 60 days of your release from the Clayton County Jail. You're to have no contact with Shamika Render.
So he's going to be evaluated. That way they have it documented. And now it's on the record as to that he had to go. He has to go within a certain time. And then he can't be around anywhere. And now if he does it again, now he's going to have to sit there and explain as to what was the thought process again as to why he just did it. Because you went to court and they told you you cannot do that. So then you're still doing it. So all he's doing, if he continues to do this, is building up a bad resume for himself.
The victim in this case, and we'll check in with you within the 60 days to make sure that you have enrolled in the evaluation per the probation requirements.
Your Honor, Mr. Kaysen has told me that he doesn't live in Clayton County. He lives, he's struggling housing, however.
He lives what now? You're breaking up.
I apologize, Your Honor. He's struggling with housing. He lives in DeKalb County in a hotel, but he does have a mailing address. He's requesting, one, that probation supervision fees be waived and that he can report to probation via mail.
So once again, we have somebody else that want to commit a crime in Clayton County and don't want to do the time or the punishment in Clayton County.
And from DeKalb County to Clayton County is about 32 minutes driving. So once again, how did he get there to go do that? So if now magically he lives somewhere else. I live somewhere else. I can't do that. I live somewhere else. I can't be there. I don't understand that. Once again, you keep doing these things in other places and then you want to run. Oh, I can I do it over there? What is this? So you just spread yourself across Georgia until it's time to pay for something?
Yeah, they can make it to do the crime, but then again, no accountability. Everyone has an excuse when it comes time to pay the check.
I'm not sure if that would be appropriate considering the fact that he has the
No, we have buses. No. So No, he's not gonna report via mail. He'll come to the Clayton. He committed the crime in Clayton County. He's gonna come to Clayton County.
Okay, Your Honor.
He can take the bus or the train, or the bus and the train.
Understand, Your Honor.
All right. All right. So, Mr. Kaysen, you can go back with the sheriff's office. You'll meet with probation.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thanks for watching.
And also give us a thumbs up, like, comment, share. Subscribe to the channel, and you'll be notified of every video as they come up. And get that algorithm going and help us build this channel in 2024.
And make sure that you don't wind up in a what had happened situation.